Hello, Prithvi. Good morning.
Yeah, hi Shad, good morning.
Happy to have you back again on this patent talk, and hope you are doing good. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. How about you?
Yeah, I'm fine as well. So today we are
Quite
going
a
to talk
busy week,
about.
huh?
Yeah, it was quite a busy week. This entire week, I had a lot of work in office. What about you?
Yeah, same here. Was busy with the work.
Hmm. So I guess we can enjoy a little talk for half an hour.
Yes.
So I was as we decided, we'll talk about getting started with patents today. So I see you have
Yeah,
made a presentation over here.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
the stage is all yours now. Like, let's get started.
Of course, Shadam. So I'll get started with what we have discussed in the earlier session, but it was
Mm-hmm.
there was a technical issue with the voice. So I
Yeah, that's
decided
fine.
that we should start from the scratch. So I have made some
Mm.
presentation so that it can be a good visual representations of what I'm saying. So is it okay for you?
Yeah, it's okay and fine with me.
Yeah. So voice is okay?
Yeah, audio quality is good this time.
Okay.
I'd like to express my apologies for the previous call.
Okay. So we can get started. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So starting with the first from the basics of the patent. So what actually a patent is? So it's just a sole right that gives you the right to make your thing, to sell your invention, to manufacture your own invention. So is it the it's a whole and sole property of yours. So for example, if you own something, so like if you own a car, that car is completely yours. So that car is yours. So you should have some kind of a documents like the agreement done or any other kind of a thing while taking the car. So it's same, the patent is in the same way. If you're doing some kind of a invention, if you're doing some kind of a research, and you should have some kind of a documented proof that the patent done or the invention done is yours. So that is known as a patent. And the question arises in everyone's mind that why patenting is really necessary. So I'll give you an example that why it is necessary. So if there was a invention of some notebook, so that
Mm-hmm.
notebook, yeah, so there was an invention of a notebook. So there are different kind of notebooks, but the person who have worked upon it, the person who have done a lot of research, who have spent a lot of time on
Mm.
researching for the notebook, so he should get the right of that invention.
He should
So
have
that's
the
why,
entire privileges and all, right? He should
yes, he should
be
always
recognized for his work.
yes. And it always motivates the people. If you're not getting some kind of output when you're giving lot of input, so people
Mm.
stop working. So there should be some kind of a motivation so that they can monetize their invention by selling it, as well as they can get a profit through the patents. So that's why the patent is really important thing. And I'll in the business point of view, I'll give you an example. Like your earning depends upon how many people are doing same thing like you're getting my point?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So the
Like,
competition, so in order to nullify the competition, the patent is really important. For example, if
mm,
there is one pen, and that pen there is no
mm,
competitor for that pen, so people will take the pen made by your company only. So the patent is really important.
mm.
So it really,
Yeah, it's like you have an exclusive monopoly over that item. Like, just as Microsoft had in early 1990s, I guess. The
yes.
all the computers that came into the market were having Microsoft operating system installed, and that gave Microsoft a good leverage and monopoly over the entire computing industry.
Yes.
So I guess it's something of that kind, right?
Yeah.
Because no one else is
Monopoly.
able to copy those things.
Yes, the monopoly gives you it gives you the leverage while doing the marketing, because you
Mm,
can it is a like a unique selling proposition while you're presenting your product or market your product, that no one in the industry is making the thing which we are making. So that gives you the leverage, that gives you the most privilege to make your own product and sell your own product into your niche market.
Okay, and what if Prithvi, someone just copies my product, or like goes on making replicas of my invention with just making a few small tidbits of changes? So, what are the rights that I possess about to sue that person or something, like get a remuneration for that?
Okay, so you have said if someone copies your product, then what to do? So if you have the patent, if you have a patent which is registered or it is granted, then you can take a legal action on that person, that or that company that who is replicating your product. And with the use of patent, what you can do is you can take the legal action, and whole and sole right to take the legal action is yours. So you can take the legal action so that he or she cannot replicate your product for in the future.
Hmm. An instance that I heard about recently from one of our professors was that he had a patent and he recently saw that his product was being used in
Okay.
by one of the company in a TV advertisement.
Okay.
So he was telling me that he's gonna sue that company, and because they are using his product, his invention without any kind of written approval from him. So
Yes,
again,
yes, yes.
guess that gives you a lot of power and to like pull on people into the court and like prove that this is your product and your right to like have it.
Yeah, so one of the biggest example I can give you is the generic medicines. You know about the generic medicines?
Yeah.
So the generic medicine, like a standard medicine, if a strip of tablet costs 200 rupees in standard form,
Mm-hmm.
the generic medicines will cost you near about 30 rupees. So why there is a difference? Many of the people ask that why generic medicines are so cheaper than the standard ones. So I'll give you the reason why they are cheaper. Generic medicines are the medicines that do not have any kind of a patent right. So they are the expired patents. So after 20 years of standard medicines, this patent becomes open for everyone. So what the companies do,
Okay.
they just use the composition of the medicines and they make their own medicines and they just market it. So this is the difference between standard and the generic, because the composition is the same, but the owner of the intellectual property, the owner of that medicine company, enjoys the complete right. So he just sell his in own price. No one can take any kind of action if he's selling it for 200 rupees or he's selling it for 400 rupees. So it's his whole sole authority to sell the product. So patent gives you a really good power which you can use it in any ways. So this is the biggest example of why patenting is necessary. So generic medicines is the biggest example.
So I hear like after 20 years I won't have any right on my patent. So
No, no,
what
no.
if I want to continue that after even after 20 years?
Yes, yes, yes. Like for 20 years in this market conditions, I can't say that you can survive it for 20 years because this is a very dynamic market we are having. So each and every
Yeah.
day, each and every day you are having that kind of a technology. The technology advancement
Mhm.
is there. So the one of the like a solution for this thing is you can do a continuous improvements in your product, in your patent, and you can take it to the market. So the continuous improvement, that is Kaizen, that Kaizen word specifies everything.
Hmm. Okay, like yeah, it'll be good to it would be good to have a patent for a lifetime, but I guess
Yes.
yeah, it's as you mentioned that it's kind of tough to survive big changing competitive
Yeah.
market every time.
Yeah. So going back, like this is 2019. So going back to 1999, the technology still
Hmm.
exists here. What was there in 1999? You just tell me. People are not
Yeah,
using that
I can
technology.
see, yeah, the cell phones and smartphones have all changed up quite a lot, and even
Yeah.
like what we can see is Windows is surviving, but the version of Windows is a bit different. Like it
Yes.
was
Yes.
98 or 95 in the early
Yeah.
2000s,
Yeah.
but right now we are using Windows 10 and Windows S7 or
So yeah,
7 or
yeah,
8.
the same thing is there. We are not using Windows 98 in Windows 2019, right? So there is
Yeah,
continuous
yeah,
improvement.
absolutely.
There is XP, there was a
Mm-hmm.
Vista, there was a Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 10. So right
Mm-hmm.
now it is a complete continuously like improving. It's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
same kind of a thing.
that's correct, right?
So this is really important, that how much time you want to survive and how much time you want to capture the market. So that's the point of a
Mm-hmm.
business. It is a kind of a business point of view. So can we move to the next slide?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, can the patent be renewed once its term is became invalidated? Like, because if something is something that might exist for a long time, like suppose I take an example of Croson.
Yeah.
If I don't see any other company like replicating Croson completely,
Okay.
and it has been existed for a long while, so I guess there might be some option to renew the patent after 20 years again. Because if a
You
proprietary thing is working for a long time, then it
no.
might
You
be
cannot. You cannot. By changing
okay.
some
So it,
compositions, by changing some compositions of the crocine, and by adding
mm-hmm,
some elements like nutrient
mm-hmm.
elements or any other thing. So that kind of a thing can work with the renewal thing, but you have to start the patenting procedure from the scratch itself. So you can't directly renew it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So it's like for 20 years, the product is yours. Do whatever you want to do with it.
Yes. And after 20 years, it will be public.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Like, it's 2 decades is worth of a time to make a lot of money.
Yeah. And it's not always about the money. It's always about the innovation. It's always about how you
Mm,
make the
the
people's
legacy
life
you leave
easy.
behind.
Yeah, how you make the people's
Mm,
life easy. So, for example, if there was a patent on a particular thing like solar panels, it was for 20 years, but people are using it. So, if the patent
mm,
was renewed, a single company would have only produced the solar panels, and the need of the earth, that is the renewable energy, so that
mm,
renewable energy cannot be generated in so big amount. So a business point of view is different thing, but the another point is the innovation, and how you can use your engineering knowledge, how you can use your intellectual knowledge to enhance the society, enhance the
mm,
living of the society. That's the one matter. So that's really
it's
important.
about
That's really important.
it's about the legacy that you leave behind for people to enjoy, right? After 20 years,
Yes,
or
yes.
maybe within
Yeah,
before
after
the 20
20
years as
years.
well.
Of course, you
So,
can. So,
so let's move on with the next slide, Prithvi.
okay. So there are different, like the question arises, like if I'm making some kind of invention or I'm making some kind of a new research. So first and foremost thing that comes into the mind, that is it patentable? So the patentability of any product depends upon the various factors. So first is what category the invention comes. If someone says like I have made some mathematical formula or a mathematical model, so can I patent it? So no, you cannot patent the mathematical model or mathematical formula, but what you can patent. So any kind of a process you can patent, any kind of a machine you can patent, any kind of a material composition like alloys you can really patent. And after that, a new uses of the processes. So for example, a process of a paper making process, advanced use of paper making process, some kind of a pomegranate extraction juice machine, and composition like alloys and metals you can really patent. So the next criteria is novelty of the invention, like how the patent is it a new idea, or it is some modification. So it comes into novelty. For example, what is novelty? So novelty means the invention should not be published before in any kind of journals, or the claimed use, the claim specification should not be in application like industry application. So this is known, this is definition of novel in very simple words. So the novelty is really important. So you should think that is it that the product I'm patenting, is it novel for the use, or is it some kind of a modification? So you should specify these things into the forms which you prepare. Yeah, getting my point, Shab?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And Prithvi, I'd like to know, once I had read a document on Patent India website, IP
Okay.
India website,
Okay.
it mentioned that we can't patent electrical circuits.
Yeah.
So, would you like to throw some light on that?
Yes, yes, yes. So electrical circuits are really like they are a bit complex, to come under the patents, because you can't really predict what's going on in the circuit through the circuit diagrams.
Hmm. And it seems like they like mathematical applications. They are just
Yes,
the mathematical formulas into live action. So
yes.
by just placing the components in place, like uh, you might just create an obstacle for other people who are trying to use the same technology, but won't be able to use because you have a patent on it, right?
Okay, so if there was a patent on the electrical circuit, what would have happened? I'll illustrate it. So if a resistor is in a particular location, like if you are having a jumper wires, you are giving the
Hmm.
resistor in position one, you are giving capacitor in position two, you are giving some other component or sensor in position three. So what I'll do, I'll read your patent, I'll see your abstract, then what I'll place, I'll put the capacitor in position one, I'll put a resistor in
Hmm.
position two, I'll put a sensor in position three. So I have changed a complete circuit. Is it like that?
Yeah, you have changed the complete circuit, but the application would be the same, and
Yeah,
that will
same.
violate the terms of your patent itself.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
So
another thing is, I feel like in India, we had an IoT program in a college, and there we had a speaker who was speaking about patents on software.
okay.
She told that it is not possible to patent the software in India. So, what are your views about it?
No. Yeah, the softwares can be patented. The softwares, particular softwares can be patented, but you should give the specific application of the software. So how the algorithm works, the particular algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
After the particular algorithms, what kind of application the software performs, that should be clearly specified, and software can be patented. But
Yeah,
the code and all, it cannot be patented. Okay.
yeah, that is what sounded a bit contradictory to me.
Yeah.
I saw a few people in in medical stores, and even the antivirus licenses. I saw those are being sold in India. Like we have NPAV. These are Indian brands like for antivirus, and they are selling licenses for their product. So I was
Okay.
into a contradictory state. She is telling that we can't patent the software, and I'm seeing people who are actually selling licenses to me for using the software.
Yes.
So
So
nevertheless,
subscription system,
uh, like
it's on the subscription systems. So the software, you can use the software, you can modify it anytime, but the main algorithm and the main application remains the same. So you can patent the
hmm,
software. So now
yeah, as
coming
we know,
to the, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, as you know, if you're found using any kind of pirated software on our systems, we might be legally sued into the court by the company who owns the software, like AutoCAD or
Yes.
Microsoft Office, right?
Yeah. Even
Hmm.
what they do, they give you a lot of you have to pay a lot of money to the company because you are illegally using the software.
Hmm.
So yeah, software can be patented, and you
Oh,
can hold the IPR right on the softwares also. So now moving to the next
okay,
point.
that's nice to know about that. Yeah, sure, please.
Yeah, so moving to the next point, that is non-obviousness. So what is non-obviousness? So if you are having one patent, so I just change the color of the patent, I just change the texture of the patent, like CMF, like color, finish, and material. I just changed, even changing a material will work because you are doing some kind of a weight optimization. But if you are changing the color, if you are changing the finish of the product, your product is, it's like obvious, anyone can do it. You can give it the variants. But what non-obvious thing is, you're changing the mechanism of working for the same application. This comes under the criteria of non-obviousness.
Okay, can you help us with an example,
Yeah,
like of any daily item that we're using?
yeah, I can. So if there is one kind of application, if a juice extraction machine, so juice extraction can be done with the help of a screw mechanism also, what we see in the lime, like for juice extraction from the lime. And it can be done through a pressing mechanism also, like hydraulic I'm using. So I'm not using a screw, I'm using hydraulic mechanism. So this, both things, they are different, but the application is similar, that is a juice extraction. But you're changing the mechanism, you're changing the way the mechanism works. If one is working with the screw mechanism, which is a mechanical kind of thing, another one you are using a hydraulic or pneumatic mechanism, it's different thing. So this is non-obvious because the researcher or the inventor is doing a lot of research, he's working a lot upon the mechanism building, so this can be patented.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. And what if I just use the same screw mechanism and I use another color
No,
for my
you
patent?
can't.
Yeah, that
No,
won't be
you
able
can't.
to.
That's really obvious that that will be really obvious if you are changing the color of the material, you are changing the texture of the material. So for making this thing, there is a, like, while drafting an application, you shouldn't specify any kind of a finish. You shouldn't specify any kind of a texture on the product. So
Hmm.
that will easy for another person to understand, and he can bring some variant. But there is a right to us that it is an obvious thing,
Hmm.
you can change the
Yeah,
texture.
it's obviously like this is a small change that any people can make and like
Yeah,
claim for a patent for in it, right?
yeah.
That's like a good point that the patent community, like the whatever regulatory authorities there has mentioned it. So pretty
Next point I'll take.
and next point, yeah, please.
So the useful application. So is the patent is useful in any kind of industrial or domestic processes? That you should ask to yourself. Like, I'm making some kind of a stool, like sitting stool. So it is application. Yes, it is application. If you're making some kind of a box, so that box can be used in the industry. No, that can be used
Yeah.
for some domestic purpose. Maybe yes, maybe no. So that question arises, like what kind of product you are making. But it should have some kind of industrial value. It should have some kind of a usefulness. So this is one of the criteria.
Okay, and does it like makes the application any different if it's commercial or non-commercial?
Yes, of course, it
Like,
makes
is there
difference.
any kind of difference in while applying the patent?
No, 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 no,
Uh,
no, no, no. While drafting the patent, you can specify the applications into the form. Like, it may be a domestic purpose. Like, for example, lighter. A lighter can be a
hmm,
domestic purpose also, and it can be for a commercial purpose also. So you can give like a universal product you can give. So there is no
okay.
specific thing that can be written like for commercial as well as the industrial purpose, like a domestic purpose.
Okay, so it should be something that can be applied in daily life or like should be somewhat useful
Yeah, it should
to
be
the
useful to
human
the
race, right?
society. It should be useful to the society, and it should be like, it should be an ethical device. I'm using the
Hmm.
word ethical because if some person who makes the patent to cut the door, cut the door, so this kind of application,
Hmm.
this kind of instrument can be used for robbery also. So this is not an ethical kind of invention. So
Yeah, but that can also be used by the emergency services to like conduct evacuation facilities in kind of hazardous situations.
yeah, so there is a pros and cons for both the things, but many of the things,
Yeah.
this technology can be used in a wrong way also. So
Mm,
how you present the condition. So this is the, what you said was a positive point, what I said was a negative point. So
yeah, yeah.
it depends upon your drafting of the patent, what kind of application you're showing.
So, are these pros and cons considered in while like
Yes.
giving you the granting the patent rights
Yes,
to
yes,
someone?
yes. So examines the patent, and he just give you the first information report about what is that in your patent. There is some query with the patent. So first examination report, FER, first examination report is
Hmm.
given by the examiner. So he just give all the points that your application is very limited, your limited kind of application is there, and all. He just gives a lot of things. So another thing about what can be patented, any kind of a natural phenomena you can't patent it. For
Okay.
example, the nuclear theories with the uranium and all, it is very critical issue. So you can't patent it because it's a hazardous to human and is a hazardous to human life, and it is having a huge environmental impact. So you can't patent that.
Yeah. I once watched a documentary on like Benjamin Franklin, I guess. He's known as the
Okay.
person who tamed electricity, like
Okay.
lightning.
Okay.
The person who had invented the lightning rod that we see on huge buildings or like or dam structures or any structures that have a massive impact on human life.
Okay.
So, what are your views on that? Can that rod be patented, or like it was something that he left it purposely so that people can enjoy it or like make use of it?
The rod which you are talking about, it's a kind of a application. It's a kind of application. It's like anti-lightning rod, right? That words is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, anti-lightning rod. So that is a particular application. Like it may be of some kind of a material, like high conductive material. So that conductive
Hmm.
material, placing it on the higher point, it's a kind of IPR right also. It's like a intellectual property. Someone has researched upon the material properties which the light which it possesses, the position of the
Hmm.
lightning rod, so it can be patented. This particular thing can be patented.
This Yeah, then this seems to be like a good example of a patentable object, right? So if
Yeah,
just
yeah.
imagine what would have happened if this could have been patented, like
Yeah,
and
in that time it would have, if this rod would have been patented, so the company would have produced this normal copper rod with the higher
hmm.
price. With the higher price.
That's and like after 20 years, people would have been waiting like 20 years, just for
Yeah,
20 years. I'll wait and then I'll use it for free, right?
yeah. So
Nevertheless, it was
you can see like benefits of getting patent.
okay. That was a good example.
Yeah,
Okay, let's
yeah,
move on to the
yeah. So now there are three kinds of patent we can see. The first is utility patent. It's also known as product patents. Then design patent is also there, and third one is a plant patent. So coming to the utility patents, so it can be on some kind of a processes, machines, and the improvement on the both. So for example, artificial limbs or artificial heart valves or the extraction juice machines or any kind of a machine which is having a unique combination of mechanisms that comes under the utility patent. So in utility patent, if you are taking example of the press tool, that press tool also comes in a utility patent. Now coming to the design patents. So design patents, Shadab, you will be amazed to know that fashion designers also use this kind of patents. Fashion designers, like which is related
oh,
to clothings.
that seems like quite of like a whole new world before them to like just draft a few like whatever it's in their mind and like get it patented, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Another
yes.
is what like are the food recipes that companies like KFC, McDonald's, or like what kind of uh, do those recipes also fall in this design patent?
No. It comes under utility patent. So it I have specified the process. Like for example, the biggest
Okay.
example you can see the Coca-Cola recipe. It's still
Hmm.
the recipe is secret. The still the the patent is over, but it is the recipe of the Coca-Cola is still, it's like it's
It's
not
kept
published
secret, right?
anywhere. It's kept secret. So that
Hmm.
comes under the process of making something, the composition, the elements which is added into the recipe, and this recipes can be patented. So this comes under utility patents. And in design patents,
Okay.
any kind of a bottles, you can see various designs of the bottles, like water bottles. There
Hmm.
is small one is made up of copper material. It is having some kind of aesthetics, different aesthetics. So when it comes to the aesthetic point of view, it comes to the design patents. So
Hmm.
furnitures, industrial designed equipments, like for tables, chairs, your laptops, even the finish of the
Hmm.
laptops, the shape of the laptops, the compact laptops, everything that comes
Hmm.
under the design patents.
Yeah, I've seen on a few water bottles it written like patent pending,
Yeah,
product patented, right?
yeah.
I used to wonder what kind of thing they used to patent. Like, Like, is
Yeah.
it the
So
material or is it the
no, no,
shape?
no, 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 no. So you can see, for example, if you see a Bisleri bottle and a bottle with higher kind of aesthetically good bottles, you know that bottles which is made up of a hard plastics, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
specifically which is given in a note that this is only for drinking water and not
Hmm.
other thing. So the Bisleri bottle is having very quite low kind of a plastic, low quality of plastic. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is one
And
texture on the bottle, a particular for the holding region.
hmm, right, like
So
to provide a
that is one kind
firm
of,
grip.
yeah, to provide a strength, to provide a grip on the bottle. But the
Hmm.
same kind of a bottle is having different shape. It may be a some taper kind of a shape. It may be a different kind of a shape. So this comes under the design patent. So not the material,
Okay,
but the overall aesthetic shape of the product.
and I've also heard that the what is called in Paris, like this tower. Do you know its exact name? What that is?
Eiffel Tower, Eiffel Tower.
This the Eiffel Tower, right? I once heard that it's the copyright to be photographed at night, so you can't like share publicly share photographs of that Eiffel Tower that you click during the night time. So is it like some kind of patent
No, no,
exactly
no, 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 no,
actually in
no.
place in that region,
No, no, no.
or like people are making
Patenting
up stories?
patenting is different thing and copywriting is different thing. So copywriting can
Okay.
be, if you publish one kind of a book, you give a copyright disclaimer that this cannot be generated. It is not a patent, but it's of the kind of a patent. It's of kind of patent.
Okay,
So
so copyright comes for documented stuff like photographs,
yeah, yeah,
movies,
yeah. Photographs,
like
movies, your
books.
songs, books,
Hmm.
literature, any kind of a
Okay.
literature material. So that's a different thing. Now
Okay. Okay.
moving
So that
forward
was
with
a bit
the, yeah. So that was a
plant
bit
patent, right?
new information for you.
Hmm. Yeah, it was quite new for me, like because I had once heard in a podcast that you can't click photos of Eiffel Tower and upload it on the like on any monetizing platforms like
Okay,
images bazaar or any Getty images, that the platforms that pay you for the images. So you
okay,
have to like because it's copyright from that architect or whoever has built that kind of structure over there.
okay, okay.
Anyways, it was nice to learn about it.
Yeah. So now
Let's move
moving
forward.
forward and moving forward to the plant patents. So there was a biggest like for Indian, you have heard about the basmati rice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basmati rice.
So the basmati rice, that quality of a rice, the breed of a rice was made in India, but the same kind of a rice was patented in USA with the name of Texmati. Texmati. So there was a big conflict.
Texmati. Oh,
Yeah, Texmati. So there was a big conflict between the Texmati and Basmati, but the Basmati won the legal case. So it became the Basmati rice. So it's for the patent. So it is like you, if you are producing new breed of mango by crossbreeding, by making I don't remember the exact word, biological word of that,
mm-hmm.
crossing those different qualities of plant into a single plant. I'm not remember. I
So
don't
it's kind of
remember
hybrid,
the, yeah, hybrid,
genetic engineering kind of a thing,
genetically
right?
modified, genetically
Mm-hmm.
modified plants, genetically modified plant. So you can patent that also. So this is a
It's
complete
like nice to
classification.
learn that. It's nice to learn that our basmati bait up USA's Texmati, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So now moving
Okay.
forward to the exact procedure of patent in India. So just what you have to do,
Mhm.
like filling the application. So application can be of two types: provisional application as well as the final application. So provisional application is the thing you haven't complete the patent, but you don't want that your idea gets copied. So you just, in order to have some document proof, you just do a provisional patenting. So for provisional patenting, you have to fill form 1, form 2, and just you have to pay the registration cost, that is 1750. And another final patent is, for final patenting you have to give the complete specification of your product. Then your form 1, that is that introductory form. Then you should request for publication, you should request for examination. So the period of publication is quite high. that is near about 18 months. And after 18 months your products your patent becomes that gets published in the journal, which is usually a weekly journal which is published by a patent office. And you can see this kind of publishings on IPR, IPR India website. So there is one kind of
Hmm.
journal, so you can download that journal, you can see the abstracts, you can see the how many diagrams are there, specified, how many claims are specified. So the title of the patent is given, abstract of the patent is given, then what kind of diagrams they have provided, that is given. And you can by publishing, it is open for opposition. Like this technology is always that it has already have been patented, so there will be a conflicts, there will be a query running. So
Hmm.
what examiner does is he evaluates your patent for patentability, then application of the patent. For every aspect he just check your patent. Then what he does, he just give FER, first examination report to you. So that report is generated by the examiner. He just takes you through the queries, that what you have claimed, is it like someone already have patented, so he just ask you to change the patent, or he just directly reject the patent. So it's up to him what the matter is. So you have they and they give the chance to modify also, like modify this thing or remove this claim. So this activity you have to carry out within a 6 months of after getting the FER. You have to give the report. It's near about 6 months. And after examination of the patent, you can get a grant. Even after granting, you have to face a lot of opposition if there is any kind of thing. Like for example, there was a big conflict between Apple and Samsung with the patents.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
don't know
with the
about that, but
with the
could you like
particular technology. Yeah, with the particular technology, like iPhone is having the NFC technology, but it is not present in the Samsung one. Samsung was also
okay.
proposing the NFC technology. NFC technology is new technology, but
Hmm.
what iPhone, like what Apple have done, they have filed the patent of NFC beforehand, before Samsung. So there was a conflict that Samsung was also using the different name for NFC, but the technology
Hmm.
was the same. So while examination, the examiner found out like the name is different, but the technology is similar. So the patent of Samsung was rejected, and the
Okay.
Apple is using the NFC.
So like Apple might have licensed it to Samsung now and might be earning from Samsung as well,
No, no,
right?
no. Samsung is not using the technology now because it's quite expensive to use the technology or take the technology on the lease from a right proprietor. It's really like it's costly. So Samsung is not using it.
Okay, let's start with provisional application. I remember
Yeah,
I had also made a provisional application because I wasn't like much aware of what I'm gonna really do about my patent, and I wanted to like have other people's opinion on the product itself. So I filed it so that it'll ensure that it was my group's idea, and
yeah,
if anyone just in case copies it or like uses it, I would be able to make an appeal before the IPR,
yeah,
Indian Patent Regulatory Authority, so
yeah,
that it was my idea and it is copied by this and this person.
yeah,
So that was my logic behind filing a provisional patent. And is it actually the case in most like patent applications that a provisional is done and then people take a gap of around 1 year and then file the complete application just as I did?
yeah,
Or is it like,
yeah. It's
so
the
what
same
was
case.
your experience? I guess you did your first patent as a provisional and then you
Yes.
went for the complete specification.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So first thing was, while making the provisional application, I was having one thing in my mind, that my research was not completely, that was not up to the mark. So I started
Hmm.
with the provisional patenting. Provisional patent gives you the right that you can legalize someone if someone uses your patent. So the application date that matters a lot. So the idea that my idea, so my idea was patented with some kind of a CAD proofs, like drawing proofs, and which gives you a lot of easiness while discussing with the people. If you need some expert advice on your patent, like for electronics, like my background is mechanical background. For electronics, I have to go to some electronics guy to complete the circuits and all. So while discussing with him, it gives me easiness, like I can easily discuss with the people that my product is this thing, and this is a completely patented product. So the person sitting in front of me, he just thinks, no, this cannot be copied. So it gives me the power to say that this product is patented, 100% patented, and I have already done the research on it. So it gives you the
Hmm.
easiness.
Like it actually gives you a complete peace of mind. Like if what even if the person like whom you're talking to might not copy the product, but what about the people like around you? If you get a if people get a short glimpse of what your product is about, and if they see potential in it, they
Yeah,
might like make a few modifications and like file a patent on that before you
yeah,
beforehand.
yeah. So it
So
gives you the assurance that your
hmm.
product, whatever you're doing, it's safe. It's safe.
Even in my case, like I'm from a civil background, but my patent domain was like it was civil only, but much of the things that came into it was from electronics and computer, as well as a few from mechanical.
Okay.
So I had to get experts on board who knew about these things and like who would guide me about these the principal stuff that goes into the basic electromagnetism or something of some kind of algorithm development. So it actually gave me quite of peace of mind once I filed the provision because I knew I had this much done, and even if someone copies that, I will be able to prove before the IPR that it has been filed by me, and I
Yeah,
am the inventor of that idea, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it gives you the easiness.
Hmm.
So now, Shadab,
So
what I think is that we have just completed our time slot. So we'll continue
hmm.
this discussion in the next week. So in the next week, we will
Okay.
discuss about the provisional patenting forms, the final patenting forms, and what kind of a forms. So that session will be completely on the forms. What forms you have to fill, what forms denote what. So if you are having
Okay.
inventors, so you have to fill form number 5. So what are inventors and what are
Yeah.
applicants? There should be difference. So we will discuss into the
Mhm.
next session.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, it will be good to have a discussion on that. I'd also wanted you to add about the online application as well as the offline that we visit
The
to the
IPR
patent office
office.
and file it. Yeah, like
Sure,
for our
sure,
region
sure.
in Mumbai. So that
Yeah,
it will be good to discuss about it.
sure.
And Prithvi, again, thanks for being here, like, and for guiding us with the entire process.
It was
It's
a pleasure.
quite an honor to speak to you.
It was a pleasure to me.
It's quite an honor for me to speak with a person who has 7 patents filed in a day and having a good record in having his name as recorded for the first person to file 7 patents in a day. So thanks, Prithvi, and really appreciate your time
Thank you,
and the
Shadab.
value you are given to this community online because most people are not aware about patent and IP intellectual property rights. So it will be a really great contribution from your end and mine as well if we could educate people about the technology, about the small provisions that government has made for people, for inventors and people who are into research. Again,
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
Shadab, the thing is, while we were fetching for the information about the patents, we faced a lot of issues. Like no one was
Hmm.
having the information about it. So we have to do a lot of internet research. We have to Google each and
Hmm.
everything. That was a really hectic thing because if you cannot believe in the source what you are getting. So my view is like we have to educate the people so that the idea of innovation can be rooted into the people.
Yes, we need to create an environment of
Yeah,
innovation itself.
yes, that's the
Like,
only thing. That's the only thing we are working for.
authentic information should be the internet is no longer that authentic as it used to be while we were children.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Prithvi, thanks for being here.
Yeah, it was
It's a
nice.
good.
It was nice talking to you.
Okay, bye. We'll
Bye bye.
have a session next week or
Yeah, yeah.
next
Next,
weekend
next.
also,
Yeah.
and
Thank
it
you.
will be about patent talk,
Yeah,
form filling, right?
yeah. Form filling.
Chalo,
Chalo.
bye.
Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Bye. Have a nice weekend.
Bye
Bye.
bye.